so much more interesting and so much more creative. And of course, I'm saying more and blah, blah, blah. They're not value judgments. To me, it's just, it's more fun to have more fun at the end of the day. And then your bank account balance can be what it is. But if you're having fun, it matters less. That's not to say that everyone shouldn't have enough to survive and, in my opinion, thrive.
Yes.
And there are enough resources on this planet for that to happen, but there's so much more to life than just the bank account or the promotions at work.
Welcome to the Fun and Bliss Show,
where fun is our practice
and bliss is our lifestyle.
I'm Monique.
And I'm Monica.
This is a show to help you laugh louder,
dance more often,
savor the silly and sacred alike,
and turn fun into a blissipline,
so we can live lives of more ease, love, prosperity, and joy.
Let's go!
Hi, I'm Monique, the Chief Fun Officer here at the Fun and Bliss Show.
And hi, I'm Monica, the Chief Bliss Officer here at Fun and Bliss. Welcome back to the Fun and Bliss Show, where we believe fun is foundational, joy is a practice, and bliss gets to be a part of your life every single day.
Yes, and before we go any further, I need you to stop what you're doing because today's episode is extra special. I got to sit down with one of my dearest and funnest friends, Kathleen Smith, who I've known for over 13 years, and this conversation was just pure play, pleasure, and soul medicine.
Ooh, tell me more. What did you guys get into?
We talked about fun as medicine, pleasure as a primary quality of the feminine, and why fun and pleasure are actually revolutionary. So Kathleen and I met, and we both studied with Mama Gina, or Gina Thomas-Shire, the School of Womanly Arts. And this conversation really touches into that lineage of women reclaiming their pleasure, their power, and their aliveness.
Wow. I love that. Because let's be honest, so many of us women listening are measuring their days in productivity rather than fun and pleasure. And ladies, if that's you, I want you to really hear this episode because pleasure can feel frivolous or even a little scary.
Absolutely. And Kathleen names that so beautifully in our conversation. So she talks about how women get trained out of their pleasure, how we're all trained out of it. And here's what happens when you bring it back in. Everything changes for the better. So for Kathleen, it changed everything in her life, from meeting the love of her life to building a business that uses her gifts and that takes care of her. She also shares how she gets to hold both depth and light in her music. She's a really she's a really wonderful musician. And because life is heartbreak and bunny shoes, darkness and sunshine all at once, it's like how we get to hold all of it in fun.
That is so fun and bliss. But before we get into this conversation, I'm so excited about it. Let's do what we always do. Monique,
yeah.
What did you do for fun today?
I made some artwork. I hadn't pulled out. I hadn't done any art for a while. Actually, that's not true. In our Fun and Bliss collective for our dark playground, I made a portrait of my shadow last week, which was really fun. But just today, I created some art, like Zen doodles. So it's it's a doodle process, but very colorful and meditative and super fun. I just love getting into my creativity. So that was my fun. How about you? What did you do for fun today?
Yeah, I think there's something about creativity that feels so playful, right? And for me right now, I'm writing a script again because I'm making another movie. Well, hoping to make another movie. I'm in the scripting process, but I got up and I was writing this morning. I was writing until midnight last night. I got up and I was so inspired. I was writing this morning. So that's really been my fun for the last 3 weeks. I've just been writing and it's been so good. I just love it.
I love creative play, and that is a lot of what this conversation that y'all are going to listen to is about. Before we get into it, let me tell you a little bit about Kathleen. So Kathleen Smith is a singer-songwriter, recording artist, and music supervisor whose voice has literally been described as made of sunshine. Her most recent album is called Medicine, which is so fitting because music and fun are two of her medicines, and she brings both everywhere she goes. She's also host of her own podcast, Freak Flag with Kathleen Smith. And honestly, she's like a little fun fairy. She carries buckets of fairy dust and sprinkles it on everyone around her.
I can't wait to meet her. I'm so sad I missed that conversation. But I'm excited to meet her now. And everybody listening, stay with us because after the main episode, Monique and Kathleen continue the conversation inside the Fun and Bliss Collective, which you can find at funandbliss.com, where they go even deeper into pleasure, the feminine, and the privilege of being human. All of it, the light and the dark.
Yeah, so take a breath, soften your shoulders, and let this be your permission slip. Actually, forget that. Forget the permission slip. You don't need permission. You need a reminder that fun and pleasure were yours all along. So here's our conversation with Kathleen Smith. Okay, I am so excited to have Kathleen Smith with us. So we're before we hit record, we're trying to figure out when we met, but it's 13 plus years ago, and she is definitely one of my funnest friends, and we have such a blast together, and I'm really, really, really excited for this conversation. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here with you. And I have to echo, I think you are one of my funnest friends. So that's fun. We're already going in the fun.
It's what I do. So
it is what you do.
It's totally what I do. People ask me, what do you do? I say, I have fun for a living and I help others have fun too.
So good.
Yeah.
So needed.
It's so fun. Anyway, well, I want to talk about you and what you do. So to start, I would love to hear the story of what pulled you into this world of music, creativity, pleasure, and cosmic troublemaking.
Oh my gosh, I love this question. What pulled me into the world of music, pleasure, fun? You said something else, and cosmic troublemaking.
Creativity.
Creativity. My soul, car, whatever thing makes the universe and made me. I was 4 when I told my mom I wanted to be a famous singer like Madonna and Barbra Streisand, because at that time it was the 80s and we had records, and Madonna, True Blue, and Barbra Streisand, the Broadway album, were 2 of my most favorite records. And I couldn't even read yet, but I would pore over them, like the liner notes and the pictures. And so I had no idea at that point, obviously, I mean, I was 4, that I would end up where I am today. But I think some of that is the great, mysterious fun and play of a life and how a life unfolds. And creativity has just always been how I do my life. Like it just, like, I'm so sensitive, and I'm fortunate to not have addiction in my own system. Like, so I could never be like someone who was like doing a lot of drugs or drinking a lot in order to cope with the difficulty of life. It was creativity. It's just always been creativity. It's something about how I'm wired. And then, and the fun too. Like, I mean, if we're not having fun, literally, what is the point? Like, life is difficult. Like, humaning is hard. So fun is important.
So important.
Yeah.
Let's talk about fun as medicine.
Oh my God. I love that you just said that, because I literally said that phrase to my therapist an hour ago.
So tell me what you mean by that.
Well, I know that for me, and I don't know if it's this way for everyone, though I do believe that to an extent it is. but I know that for me with my wiring, fun is one of my medicines. Like I just have experienced so many times, time and time again, that fun is medicine for me to feel like myself and to like
Mm.
feel aligned and harmonious and to feel, that sense of well-being and belonging that we feel when we're in that ventral vagal state of like uh everything is harmonious in the biological, electrical, magnetic, spiritual, etc. system. So I know that it's fun helps me be myself.
Mm.
Full stop. And I've also experienced so many times and seen reflected back to me that part of the medicine that I bring in the field is fun. Like it's a thing I bring to others. And so, like I remember a friend's birthday party years ago at the beach in Pacific Palisades in LA, right in Southern California. And she didn't well, I'm trying to remember what the specific thing, but like I was wearing a little short thin cotton jumpsuit and I had my bathing suit under it and she hadn't brought her bathing suit and I was like, Jamie, you could just wear my jumpsuit and I'll wear my bathing suit and we could go swimming in the water. And I like sort of low key had to convince her, but I just knew that it would be really fun. And there were other ladies there and they all maybe had their bathing suits, or maybe Jamie and I just went in by ourselves. And it was so fun. And it just like opened up the whole field of the birthday party, which I had no idea that is what was going to happen. But that was one of the really, for some reason, that's one of the landmark experiences I had where I was like, oh, part of my gift is that I bring fun because I just like fun and I always want to have more fun.
You do. You're a fun fairy.
Like
You
if there's
come and
more
you
fun to be,
everywhere you go.
it's like I lob it. Like I
That's true. You have
throw.
like buckets of it.
Exactly. Totally. It's what I do.
It's delightful. But yes,
I
people
love it.
should, maybe it's like, warning,
Yeah.
you will be soaked in fun if you get too
Yeah.
close.
Yeah. And fun as medicine, like I feel like there are some medicines that sort of we could say in our culture or in these modern times, we're not all of us are hip to the depth of their potency. And I think that fun is one, like it's underrated, right? Except for by people like you created a whole thing around it, right? Or like Mama Gina, who we both learned from. I almost said lived from, learned from,
Yes.
created like a whole thing, right? Like she's the one who taught me that fun is a nutrient for women. Like it's an essential vitamin. And that really landed. And so I think that for all of us, I think, and I'm sure there's science that bears this out. I'm not going to quote any of it because it's not like I've read any of it. Maybe you know some of it, but that fun, our brain works in different ways. And I think that we can access different parts of our brain that are more expansive and more creative. And in my sort of worldview and orientation, maybe more harmonious or like entrained with grander algorithms of the universe. And I'm not talking about the meta algorithm. You know what I mean? Like the grander algorithms of what created the stars and the earth and puppies and peonies and you and me and funny otters, like little cute sea otters who have their favorite rock. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think fun is deep, potent medicine and similar to how like subtle like I love flower essences and flower remedies and they seem subtle but they're so deep, but it works on you without like kicking your booty. It's
Yeah.
just nectar.
Yes. Yeah. It's a sweet medicine, but I
Yes.
totally agree. I mean, that's a whole chapter in my book about fun and its health benefits,
Uh-huh.
mental and physical. So
Yeah.
it really is medicinal. But our culture Does it? Like makes it low priority, very frivolous, not productive, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And these are things I like to think about a lot, the systems and structures we find ourselves in, and like, who does it benefit if we're always kind of dragging ourselves around in the grind? Not that there's any kind of grand conspiracy or ill intent going on, but what are the larger cultural ramifications of a whole society of people who are just in survival? Like, fun to me is part of flourishing, and flourishing, the energy of flourishing is completely a different paradigm from survival. And they're not super, they're like different octaves, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think too, there's a paradigm around, right? It's like how productive, how much are you earning? How much you worth, like
yeah,
in terms of dollar value with your time? And fun doesn't translate in that way. And so
right.
it's not valued. They're like, oh, you're not making us any money. Get back to work.
No, exactly. It's kind
Yeah.
of fun is kind of capitalist, right? Like, fun doesn't fit into a domination paradigm. It doesn't fit into a hierarchical pyramid shape where all resources flow to the top and only to the top, right? Fun is a thing we can have inside of ourselves. It
Yeah.
lives in the realm of, to me, it lives in the same realm as like imagination and creativity. Those are things that we, without getting into sort of like nervous system states, which depending on which one we're in can actually limit our access to those things, but like on sort of a more general level, those are things that live inside of us that no one can take from us, that we always have, that we don't have to pay for.
Yeah.
And so it's they're actually infinite resources.
Yeah.
And to me that's exciting. To me that's also super subversive, like what you said about how it doesn't quite fit into a model of like, you're making money for us. I'm like, that's freaking cool and slippery and trickstery and
Yeah.
mysterious, and doesn't allow itself to be boxed in by systems that are not generative.
It's true. So the
Right?
ironic thing is if you have employees that are having fun,
They're more productive.
it's more productive.
Say it's counterintuitive, except I
Yeah.
don't think it is. It's counter logical,
Yes. Yeah.
right?
But that's the hack, right? If you have fun, you're going to be if you're liking if you're having fun doing what you're going to do, what you're doing, you're going to do it. You're
It
going to show
becomes
up for
more
it.
magnetic.
Yes, you want to
It's
do
so
it.
much more magnetic
Yeah.
and so much more interesting and so much more creative. And of course, I'm saying more and blah, blah, blah. They're not value judgments. To me, it's just, it's more fun to have more fun at
Yeah.
the end of the day.
It
And
is.
then your bank account balance can be what it is. But if you're having fun, it matters less. That's not to say that everyone shouldn't have enough to survive and, in my opinion, thrive. And
Yes.
there are enough resources on this planet for that to happen, but there's so much more to life than just the bank account or the promotions at work.
Yeah, for sure. You've talked about a revolution that will be fun, pleasure-filled, and feminine based.
Mm.
So tell me more about that.
It's funny you say that. And I'm like, whoa, when did I say that? Tell me more.
Maybe I made that up, but
That's right up my alley. What did I say? Fun, pleasure based, and feminine.
pleasure-filled and feminine based.
Oh, yeah, that's my jam. That, in my opinion, is the jam. I think that in the thinking and looking I do all the time at our culture and our world, to me, it seems that so much of the difficulty and challenge and suffering is unnecessary and created by humans and created from a lack of reverence for and even just understanding of what we could call feminine values and feminine movements of energy and feminine maps.
Yeah.
And by which I'm talking about things like relationality, relationships, and care and empathy and emotional labor. And then, of course, other octaves of feminine experience like pleasure. This is one of my favorite lines of literally all time. And my meditation teacher said it long ago, and it just always stuck in my head. And it was this: it's pleasure is to the body of the goddess what wet is to water, a primary quality.
Wow.
I'm going to say it again because I feel it's so deep.
Yes.
Pleasure is to the body of the goddess what wet is to water, a primary quality.
That's so true. And when you're talking about the goddess, are you talking about the feminine in general?
Yeah. Yeah. And I try, when I'm having conversations like this, I try to keep my language not too religious or spiritual, but sometimes it just cannot be helped. My orientation is what it is. And my orientation is that whatever the big thing is that made all of this, you could call it nature, you could call it atoms, quantum physics, or I call it love. And for me specifically, the belief system that works is to orient toward it as the great mother and the goddess and the feminine, which is like in a yin yang. It's the black part. It's the magnetic, wet, mysterious, like nourishing void.
Yes.
Which coexists with the light and the ascension and we happen to live in a culture that prioritizes what I would call masculine models. And so for me, sinking deep into the feminine and pleasure and fun and devotion is not only fun, and it is fun, and pleasure filled, and it is pleasure filled, but deeply nourishing. And to me, I think it's revolutionary.
Yeah.
Like I just posted, I like to go on little jags on Instagram where I post a bunch of stuff to my stories, which is cool stuff I've seen on Instagram or random pictures I've taken of things that give me a giggle or thrill me or I think are interesting. And someone made like a play on the women are from Venus, men are from Mars, or the book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus.
Yeah.
And it was women are from Venus, men are from women. That's correct. Of course, men are from women and men, right? Like the egg and the sperm. But like the first world we live in is a female body.
Yes. Oh, so good. So I'm going to go back to this quote, right? This pleasure is to the body of the goddess, right? As this essential quality of, we'll just use the term feminine for now.
Or we could even say life.
Yes. But I want to go back specifically to the feminine because so many women are disconnected from their pleasure, right? And it's like, talk to me a little bit about that. It's like when women are trained out of their pleasure and what changes when women bring pleasure back in.
Well, it makes me think of a few things. One of the first of which, of course, is our training with Mama Gina at the School of Womanly Arts and how, I mean, that her body of work, especially when she was doing it, because you were with her from the very beginning. What year was that when you were teaching?
Almost,
learning in the brownstone?
2005.
Right, 2005. So 21 years ago. In the last 5 years, 7 years, we've seen an explosion of the commercialization of like pleasure and pussy. Oh, shoot, I shouldn't have said that. Lady parts based business. And because this is going to broadcast, I'm doing my best. We've seen an explosion of a certain sector of the coaching and business industry explode with pleasure-based business, blah, 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 right? Like ladies are getting hip to it. But when Mama Gina was starting to teach this stuff in the early 2000s, like she frankly told in her stories, no one was in that field playing. And she went, oh, this, women need to know about this. And we learned from Mama Gina about how women are trained out of their pleasure. And some of it also makes me, and I will dive deep into these couple of things, but I'm going to sprinkle them first and then dive. The book by Rianne Eisler, I don't know if I'm saying her name right, The Chalice and the Blade, which documents the historical sort of record of the shift from what archaeology seems to indicate at this point is there were many years of sort of a feminine paradigm that we lived in way pre-Christ, right? And like in Sumeria and stuff like that. And then there was a shift into this patriarchal, like it was a matriarchal time, right? And then there was this shift to the patriarchal dominator model, and part of demonizing pleasure was part of that shift, because true pleasure, you can't be hurting someone else and be in true pleasure. I'm not talking about consensual BDSM, all that kind of thing, right? So The Chalice and the Blade is a really brilliant book that documents some of that shift from goddess-based culture to monotheistic, masculine, patriarchal culture. And one of the cornerstones of patriarchal culture is that women's sexuality has to be controlled, because you can't know for sure who the father is unless you control a woman's sexuality. You always know who the mother is because the human comes out of her, right? So pleasure got demonized, and part of, I believe, and I think we learned this from Mama Gina, and I see it so much, part of women being separated from, disconnected from their pleasure, is even the word pleasure itself. People go, whoa, because they have an association that there's only one kind of pleasure, and it is sexual pleasure, right? And sexual pleasure is only one delicious facet of an entire gem of what a human body can experience here on earth. I have occasionally taught women's breathwork classes where I teach a little bit about pleasure, and I talk about the pleasure of, when you get lentils at the grocery store from the bulk section, and you get them and you put them in the plastic bag. Just putting my hand like in the lentils in the plastic bag, because they're like cool, and it gives me it just feels good. It's a cool thing, right? Yes. Or like the pleasure of a bubble bath, or the pleasure of delicious chocolate. I learned from Mama Gina to be a pleasure researcher, right? That was a whole thing. And so women being so disconnected, so trained out of their pleasure, even the word at first is really scary until you start to say, I'm not talking about only sexual pleasure. Absolutely, that's a facet of it. But there's this whole other realm. And going back to that quote, pleasure is to the body of the goddess what wet is to water, a primary quality. It is my personal belief, and I have had so many direct experiences of this, that pleasure is a massive part of feminine power. Pleasure and power are married in the female body. And so training women out of their pleasure keeps them out of their power and makes them much more controlled. Bliss and fun and pleasure on a certain level are unmanageable. You cannot manage a blooming peony. What is that, right? They're two different worlds. So again, I don't go in for conspiracy theories, but who does it benefit when half of the human population of the world is completely disconnected from and unaware of their power? A matriarchal society sees everyone as its child, and therefore everyone is taken care of. And therefore, people who are selfish and greedy and hoard resources, for whom, by the way, I have the utmost compassion because I can only imagine the fear that's running them or the soul sickness or whatever, but they're kept in check because it's not good for the whole.
Yeah. I want to ask you about your personal experience with this. How did tapping into these like pleasure, fun shift things for you in your life?
My God, how did they not shift things?
Tell me the before and after.
Okay, so of course, opening to pleasure is an ongoing practice. So there are always deeper levels and always more practice available. In an infinite universe, everything can be infinite, right? There's no end. There's no there. It just can keep going, which is beautiful and delicious most of the time and sometimes really annoying. But so it really was going to Mama Gina, to the School of Womanly Arts, that opened me to this whole thing. And she talked about desire and pleasure in this way that I think maybe the best way to concisely articulate it is that it landed in me and in my body as this great remembrance of, oh, this is true. These are real maps. We have been trained in only half of the maps available because the other half have been repressed and oppressed and secretly passed down, right? And Mama Gina hipped us to those. And I didn't have all the language for that at that time, but it landed in my body and I just felt like I want more. This is something, right? And so over the course, even like I met my husband, the legendary love of my life, through the pleasure practices. And I'm literally talking about just the things we learned from Mama Gina: bragging, celebrating what's good in my life, celebrating what's great, doing gratitudes, doing desires. That's it. Doing dance breaks. Like, I met my legendary love 7 days after writing on my desire list. I desire an LA hottie to take me on dates. And I just wanted to go on dates. And then I met my husband, and I was never going to get married. I was going to be single. I was going to have lots of lovers. My songs were going to be my babies. And instead I met my husband, and I can't imagine we've been together. Our 14th wedding anniversary will be in October. That absolutely, I mean, on one level, I would say happened because of everything I was practicing and learning with Mama Gina. I have a business today that I help people. I'm a music supervisor, right? And I'm also a singer-songwriter, and I make records. But my business takes care of me, gives me my life. I get to work on really cool stories. Pleasure and pleasure practices and encountering the paradigm of the feminine as pleasure, desire, and fun, and those being spiritual practices and journeys, is my life. It was a door. It was a sparkly door I walked through, and I was like, peace out, all this other stuff. And that's not to say I don't have times when I think I should have more money or make more money or get grumpy or sad or tired or crunchy, or especially perimenopausally ragey, right? About sexism. But it's my life. It's my devotion. That primary quality of the feminine that pleasure and fun are, which I would say I believe, but it's not even that I believe it. I just know it's true. Like, I know gravity is a real thing.
Yeah.
It's everything to me. And I've seen how it just opened my life to me, living as my real self, I think, right? Like perfectionism gets turned down, overthinking gets turned, like this female body and the way pleasure nourishes it and tunes it and attunes me to everything she knows is so wise and has so much wisdom. And women really are trained out of humans at this time, at least in our Western culture, are trained out of it.
Yes.
And that's weird. Like I think our culture is like really insane. I call it a death cult. It's like a militaristic death cult that is obsessed with violence and guns. And I'm just like, what are you people doing? We could be having so much more fun. We could be eating berries under the pine trees, singing songs and making plays and running around and swimming in rivers. That is available to us. Like, why is LinkedIn a thing?
Oh my gosh. I love you. Okay, I could go into a whole thing about I've had very similar shifts with pleasure, from helping me find the love of my life to being the seed of my business and more. I want to switch gears though and talk about
Okay.
your music.
Okay.
That your music has been described as emotionally charged, fearlessly vulnerable, and literally as having a quote voice made of sunshine. You've been described that way. This combination is very fun and bliss to me, depth and light. So how do you hold like depth and light in your creative work?
Gosh, I love this question and I hope I can answer it because some of it I think is wiring. For whatever reason, there's a real wide span and capacity in my being for the depths of darkness that can be experienced in a human life and in the world, and the height of light. And I've cultivated it for sure. Again, going back to wiring, I'm a seeker and a devotional person and someone who is always wanting to create and like be a better human. I think all humans are good inherently, but like have more satisfying outcomes, we could say, right? To sound real boring and dry about it. So in my creativity, how do I hold that depth as well as light? That's just how it happens.
You.
It's just how it happens, but it's like I want to show you, and maybe we'll get into this, but I made sure they were close because my most recent record, which came out, oh my gosh, that's 2.5 years ago, is called Medicine. And this is the front.
Of that.
And then this is the back. It has a skull on it. But it's a pink skull because my friend Mason made it for me for my studio. And so in having a plan for the art for this record, when I was finishing it and going to be putting it in the world, I wanted to call attention to the beautiful, like the mutuality of Eros and Thanatos, life and death, right? The life force and death and
love.
Yeah. Just and again, that yin and the yang, right? The bright light and the deep dark, and death is part of life. Like you go to Hawaii and there is so much decay on the ground, and then there is so much life just popping out of it. And so that essence of like that DNA helix shape of the way Eros and Thanatos dance in this material plane is endlessly compelling and fascinating to me. And that I personally have experienced extraordinary broken hearts, extraordinary depression. There was many years where I prayed to die in my sleep for about a decade. And even during those years, I would experience highs that were like, I don't know that my body can even contain all of this joy. And so all of that is so beautiful and fascinating to me. And to me, the gift, one of the gifts of life in a human body on this planet. And so it infuses my creativity. It's part of how I see everything. It's part of my lens.
Yeah.
But you got to have life is hard, hearts break, people die. You got to fire your accountant sometimes. And you got to have the little bunny moo-moos. Can you see that?
They're so cute. Yeah.
Yes.
So for those who are
awesome.
listening, she's showing the album cover for Medicine, and she has these really cute bunny shoes.
Yeah, and I'm in this like tiered tulle skirt, and I have like a turquoise guitar, and there are these amazing bunny mules that were at the location where we shot. And of course, there's a lot of pink because pink is my jam.
I love it. All right. On this show, we talk about disciplines. So those practices, those ways of being that help you have a lighter, freer, more alive life. What are your disciplines that help you stay connected to pleasure, fun, and joy?
I love that question. And before I answer the question, I love that word so much. I love that word so much. And you probably have talked about it on the podcast, but discipline comes from the word disciple. So it's like being a disciple to your desire, and then blisscipline, you're being a disciple to your bliss and your desire. I think it's just genius. So what are some of my singing? Big one. For fun and for pleasure. I also have singing for rehearsal and singing for making records, but that also is medicine for me because music is also one of my medicines. Both I must take my medicine of music and share my medicine of music. Baths. I take a bath pretty much every night. I just love a bath. There's something about really water of any kind, hot springs, the pool, the ocean, the bath, the river. It just immersing in water of any kind is pure delicious for me. Obviously, very tasty dark chocolate. Going on vacation, just having fun, visiting friends or seeing new places, travel, painting my nails. Like actually me painting my nails. Once in a while, I'll get a manicure, but there's something, I don't know. I feel like maybe it's like ASMR or something. The concentration of like just the ritual of I do my cuticles and then I do the undercoat, and I have to practice. I have to be really concentrate a lot when I'm painting my right hand because I am right-handed. So I have to paint my right hand with my left hand. And it's like really focused, but relaxing. And I really love good fingernail game. I call it nail game. And like when women have like long nails and beautiful art, like I always want that, but it's not super harmonious with my life because I play piano and guitar and I like typing. There's just a lot of things. Every once in a while I'll put on fake nails and it's like my favorite thing. But so the hikes being in nature is a really important part of my disciplines. Meditating, praying, touching in with silence and my own generative relationship with the divine, and creativity of any kind, like writing songs or cooking. Cooking is a big one. I like to read cookbooks and I like to read design magazines.
Yeah.
Like taking in beauty is a huge part of my holistic bliss plan. are a few things. Also weightlifting. I mean, I have a lot of them.
That's why
I
you're so
thrive
happy.
on practices.
That's why you're a fun fairy. You have so many disciplines.
I have
One
many
one of
disciplines.
mine is with you, and we like once a week we
Yeah.
get on and we spring clean.
We touch in and spring
And
cleaning.
which is
Oh my gosh.
a tool from Mama Gina, but
Yeah.
we basically get to download on a particular topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's getting a lot of airtime here,
Yeah.
which is as it should be, honestly. I mean, her stuff initiated me into a whole different life from what I might have had I not encountered it.
Me
Truly.
too. Me
Yeah.
too. All right. I'm having so much fun that I'm looking at the time so that I want to go into I'm going to ask you one question of how, and then we'll do our laser round. And then
Okay.
we're going to go we're going to have like a little bit more for those of you who want to join us in the Fun and Bliss Collective. We're going to do a little deeper dive and keep talking. So you'll definitely want to join us there so you can hear that. The rest of this conversation.
Join so you can hang out with all of us in
Yes,
Monique's
have
and
fun with us.
Monica's online space. It's so yummy. I can't believe we're already here. Time truly does fly when you're having fun.
It does. It does. I know. But so I want to invite you to give we were calling it a fun spark. Now we're calling it a fab spark. So it's a fun and bliss spark. So it's a little for someone who's listening. What's one tiny experiment you would invite them to try this week to invite in more fun, pleasure, aliveness in their lives?
Okay, this is the first thought that popped into my head. So I'm going to go with first thought, best thought.
Yes.
And I'm going to say dance breaks. I'm
Love
going to
dance
say
break.
one song, even just one song, or like your button, 30 seconds, 30 seconds to one song of dance, shake your booty, move your body, especially if you've been deep in computer land or deep in focusing land, or you're having something awful and difficult is happening. Dance. I have done dance breaks. I did a dance break when I was walking into the hospital to go say what I thought was goodbye to my grandmother because I was leaving. I was on tour in Reno. It was in 2016. And I had to leave the next day to go to Salt Lake, and my grandma went into the hospital and she was in her 90s. And so I was certain it was goodbye. And I was heartbroken, and I wanted to go be loving and kind and of service and like one piece in myself, right? When I walked into that hospital room. And so I did a crying, wearing sunglasses, sad song dance break in the courtyard of the hospital before I walked in. And just that one song, it just like lined me right back up. And that's obviously a sad song dance break, but happy song dance break, duh. So that's my
fab spark.
Fab.
Fun and bliss, fab. It's fab. Yeah. Thanks. I love that.
Wait, can I say one more thing about that? I guess I have a lot to say on this topic. One of the deepest teachings of fun, pleasure, and bliss.
Hold that thought. We're gonna go. Okay. We're gonna talk about that when we go into our deeper dive, because we need to do our laser round and wrap up.
Okay. I just want to say the privilege of being human and all of it. All of it. That's it.
Okay. All right. So laser round. What's your go-to when you need an instant joy boost?
Coffee.
What's one thing that never fails to make you laugh?
My husband.
What's the last thing you did for fun?
This right now.
This has been fun. Finish this sentence. Bliss for me looks like
heaven.
Love that.
Feels like a cone.
Yeah. All right. So what's the best way for people to connect with you and find out more about what you do?
They can sign up for my mailing list. That's the best way. So kathleenmusic.com or kathleenmusic.substack.com. or Instagram/Kathleen Music.
So Kathleen Music is where to go. And that's so great that you got
Well, you know what's
that.
funny is at the time in 2005, when I was about to graduate college and got it, I was annoyed because KathleenSmith.com was taken, but it has turned out in my favor. Isn't that just life for you?
It is. It's so delightful. All right. Well, thank you so much. That was amazing. So fun. Conversation will be continued in the Fun and Bliss Collective. So y'all should definitely join us there. You can go to funandbliss.com for that. And we'll continue that there. Thank you so much, Kathleen. That's awesome. This has been so fun.
Monique, thank you so much. What a pleasure. It's been wonderful to be here. Thank you so much. And listeners, I love you.
I love you too. Love you, Kathleen, and I love
Oh,
our
also, I
listeners.
thought of one other thing. I have my own podcast, and it's called Freak Flag with Kathleen Smith. So you can also get more Kath vibes anywhere you listen to your podcasts on Freak Flag.
Okay. And we'll put links for that in the show, in the show notes, or you can go to funandbliss.com and under this episode and find that info.
Yay!
Yay.
Oh my goodness, Monique, that conversation was so juicy and so fun.
It was, wasn't it? And I want to make sure that you caught what I think is the biggest thing that Kathleen said, because it is such a game changer. That fun is medicine. It's not a reward, it's not a distraction. It's like real potent medicine that makes you feel like yourself, come back into your body, and reconnect with your aliveness.
And you know what I love is the reframe around pleasure. Because here's the truth, right? Pleasure is not just one thing, and it is definitely not something to be embarrassed about, which so many of us are. I mean, even saying the word, sometimes people are like, "Oh, you know what I mean?"
Yeah.
But it can be something as simple as a bubble bath, some dark chocolate, painting your nails, even running your hand through a bag of lentils at the grocery store. That was funny. It's everywhere if you're willing to just notice it.
Yeah, I love when she said that about the
Yeah.
Gotta make me want to go to the grocery store in the bulk aisle and just like
Yeah. For
finger
me,
all
I
the
have to
produce.
yeah, for me, I have to confess it's rice. There's something about that, but you can't do that here. You do that in India, but you can't do that here. So it's an
Yeah, no,
interesting thing.
they frown about you putting
Yeah.
they frown at sticking
Yeah.
your hands in the
In the rice packets. Yeah,
but after
exactly.
you buy it, you can do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I love that we talked about how pleasure is a primary quality of the feminine. When you reconnect with your pleasure, you reconnect with your power, right? Like pleasure, a woman in her pleasure is a woman empowered. So and Kathleen's whole life, her story that she shared is really evidence of that. Like her really incredible marriage with her husband, Sean, who's such an amazing man, her music, her business. It's all opened up through her doing these pleasure practices. I mean, this stuff works. We know this.
Yeah. So if you are one of those high achieving, high powered women listening, and you've been telling yourself that fun and pleasure are unproductive, I need you to hear me now. This is a lie you've been sold. Fun and pleasure are actually where your magnetism, your creativity, and your best ideas live.
Amen. That is so true. And as always, we have our guests leave us what we call our fab spark, our fun and bliss spark. And this one is super simple. Take a dance break. One song, even 30 seconds. And we hear all about the dance breaks. So especially if you found yourself like hunched over a computer all day, or you're in the middle of something super heavy, just put on some music, shake your booty, move your body, and let the music just line you right back up.
So Here's your assignment to actually do this week. That means do it. Don't just nod along with us and say, yeah, that's a great idea. Take one dance break. It could be a happy song, a sad song, whatever you need in that moment. Just move. Move your body and your body will thank you. And so will everybody else around you.
Yes. And if this conversation lit you up, don't let that spark die when you press stop, right? Or you stop listening to the show. Come join us inside the Fun and Bliss Collective. That's where Kathleen and I continued this conversation. And there you can hear us go even deeper into pleasure, the feminine, and what she calls the privilege of being human. All of it.
I love that. The privilege of being human. Inside the collective, you'll get access to that bonus content, plus a whole community of women choosing more fun, more pleasure, more aliveness, and more permission in life to enjoy it, to have more fun, to have more bliss.
Absolutely. So you can join us at funandbliss.com, funandbliss.com. There you can click the link to join the collective. We would love to have you in the playground with us.
And before you go, do one thing for us, please. Share this episode with a woman in your life who needs this reminder.
Yeah, you know who that is, right? That's the friend who's been grinding so hard she forgot that pleasure is her birthright. Send this to her right now. She will thank you.
And thank you so much for being here with us at the Fun and Bliss Show.
Remember, fun is not extra, pleasure is not frivolous, and bliss gets to belong in your real life.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Fun and Bliss Show,
where fun is our practice
and bliss is our lifestyle.
If this episode sparked your joy,
share it, subscribe, and join the movement.
Stay fun,
stay blissful,
and see you next time.
Through the endless game, every turn, every sway, colors burst, light in the way. Shine so bright, so feet on the ground.